All right, so guys, here's the 1 to 16 playoff season, which they're proposing. So let's start with the Bucks and Magic. What do you think?
Ooh, Bucks destroy the Magic here.
I think
I don't see it being close at all.
D.
Bucks 100%. I don't see anybody else beating them.
Okay, let's go to that Miami.
Especially not if that's your first team.
Yeah, right. What about Miami and OKC?
That's a hard one because Miami, you don't know what team you're going to get night in, night out. Some nights they're lights out. Some nights they're just garbage. And but I think they have the best player on the court between the two teams with what's his name? Huh?
Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy Butler. I think he's going to be the best player on the court at this time. And I would have to give the edge to Miami, but that one's going to go 6 or 7, I think.
I think it goes 6. Miami.
I think it goes 7.
Yeah, it's a good one. So then we have Bucks and Heat then. Now, what I think is going to be the most competitive series in the first round will be this Clippers and Mavericks series. Who you guys got on that?
Clippers. So who do I got? The Clippers. What? Just because you have Luka and you have Christian Polovich, whatever the fuck his last name is, just because you have him and Luka does not, bro, that does not mean you have – that's not Go Tanks, bro. That's not Gogeta. That's not Vegeta.
I heard Luka got fat over the quarantine. I heard that they're talking about him that he gained quite a bit.
Mm.
And
what I think
if he's that unhealthy, because he's already a slow player, he's not exactly flash lightning, and so he's gonna, if he did gain weight and he's not in shape, that it's gonna be a complete wash. But
I think it goes 6.
I think the Mavs are stronger than their seeding, but still you're faced with a stacked Clippers, and the Mavs are still 1 or 2 pieces away from being dangerous.
Oh yeah, no, I think Clippers obviously in 6. The one thing that they have though, it's kind of like the issue when the Lakers and Clippers play. Who's gonna stop AD? Now you got KP, who before this whole thing he was averaging like 30 or like 28 and like 13. So this guy's 7'3". Who's gonna guard him? And he can spread the floor. That's
you talking about KP, right?
Mm-hmm. That's the question.
That's my thing. You're making KP seem like he's more of a threat than you think he is, bro.
He's also KP. He's a two-way player. You forget that he leads the league in blocks.
Yeah, but he's also never been deep enough in the playoffs to know the intensity that comes with it.
Thank you.
Yeah, at the same time, I'm not picking I'm not picking the Mavericks. I said the Clippers in 6. Okay.
I understand that. But I understand that you're trying to defend the Mavericks right now. I know how much you love Luka.
Yeah, but with KD, you get someone like Harold. You get someone like Harold to dog on him. Like, Harold's undersized, but Harold's a beast. Harold will do that, push him around
all day on Harold.
Yeah, I know. Porzingis can score, but here's what's going to happen. Maybe Porzingis has a really good game 1 and a really good game 2, but you start pounding around with a guy like Harold for 2-3 games in a row, that's going to wear on you. And as strong as Porzingis got this past year, he's not handling Harold for 3-4 games.
Well, here's the thing also. So you guys aren't even going to give them 2 games when they have the number 1 efficiency offense and the number 1 offense overall. Yeah, they're not a good defensive team. That's why I obviously take the Clippers. Okay. So, yeah, I think Doc Rivers is a better coach than Carlisle, but you can't count out Carlisle. He's a phenomenal coach too. So
Carlisle is a middle-of-the-road coach.
I think
I'm
he's a
not a
good
big
coach.
I'm not a big fan of Carlisle. Every team that Carlisle they've had decent teams, but they've never been anything dangerous. He's a good coach, yeah, but he's not anything that you should be like, oh, it's a Carlisle team. Ooh. You know, if you put Popovich on the squad, I think they are a little
go
bit
to the chip.
Yeah, they might actually go further, maybe all the way to the finals. But with Carlisle's a little soft.
I don't know. I just I don't want to say disrespect. I just think people are sleeping on the Mavs. Because,
no, they're not. They're not.
Well, listen, bro. Listen. Okay.
I haven't given my full take, so go ahead. Yeah, I'll let you. Yeah.
You got a guy who almost averages a 30-point triple-double. Yeah, it's not the playoffs, right? I understand that. They're going to start trapping and double-teaming Luka, being more physical. But I still think they'll at least get 2 wins. It's not going 7.
Not with the Clippers. If it was turned around,
chemistry-wise, the Clippers aren't there either. That's another issue. That's why I say it's going 6. But if they get the chemistry, I think it's over in 5.
If I'll just say this: if the Mavs were playing, let's say the Mavs were playing, let's switch it around. Let's say the Mavs were playing the Sixers. I would say the Mavs have a good chance of beating the Sixers or Boston.
Mm-hmm.
But
I don't know about Boston, man. That's another.
I'm just saying, if it switched it around where they were playing anyone on that bracket below, I would say that the Mavs have a better chance of winning because the Mavs they're a lot better than their seeding says.
But here's another.
That being said, against the Clippers, Luka is going to have to go up against either Kawhi or Paul George.
No, they're going to throw a lot of people at him for sure.
And then Porzingis is going to have to deal with Harrell and they got someone else. I forgot who it is. They got the big dude from LA.
Who used to play for the Lakers?
DeAndre Jordan.
No, he's on the Nets.
No, DeAndre. He was on the Mavericks. The big dude.
DeAndre Jordan plays for the Nets.
He used to play for the Mavericks. He was gonna get traded to the Mavericks. I think so.
No, he played for the Mavericks, became a free agent, and signed with
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, he played for the Mavericks.
That was last year. So, but I think with the chemistry issues with the Clippers and the speed that the Mavericks play at, they can push it to 6. That's all I'm saying. We all know the Clippers are a better team overall, personnel and coaching. I just think that, the Mavericks can push it to 6.
The Clippers are missing – not the Clippers, but the Mavericks are missing a good coach and a veteran. That's all they're missing is a good coach and a veteran. That's literally it. You don't need a dude that needs to score. Like, you have the 2 players that are going to do most of the scoring. Not just that. You need a good coach, a veteran, and a solid bench. And I feel like their bench –
When we talked about Chris Paul, he would be perfect for the Mavericks. It's Chris Paul.
Of course, he would be 100%. He would be perfect for the Mavericks.
That's
Actually, what would catapult the Mavs if they had Jimmy Butler, a defensive guy.
No.
Yeah, but do you think Jimmy Butler's going to be able to really coincide with somebody like Luka?
Luka's going to pass
because Luka's the man on that team, and Jimmy Butler's got that Kobe DNA.
He does, but Luka is kind of an easygoing guy. He's not like that. He's not the atypical all-star. He's an easygoing guy. He's like, okay, yeah, you do what you do, I'll do what I mean, that's just who Luka is. And Luka's game is, he can do what he wants to do. But Jimmy Butler, you get Jimmy Butler on there, immediately it becomes a trinity on that team. And where Jimmy Butler, he can take a leadership role, and he's going to feel like, oh, I got control. You get someone like that on the Mavs, they're winning chips.
Well, you also have shooters on the Mavs too. That's where like Luka gets a lot of his assists is when the collapse is on him with his passing IQ. He finds people in the corner everywhere. So that's another thing. That's why I think.
What position does Luka play?
He's technically a 2 guard, but he plays the 1.
So he's a point guard.
Yes, he's a
Okay.
6.
So he's like RJ. He is basically like Iverson.
In a
Yeah,
way.
but he's a big dude. He's like 6'6", 6'7", 6'8".
He's 6.
Really?
6'7".
He's
yeah.
that tall?
Yeah, he's big.
Oh God, no, he's like Magic Johnson then.
Yeah.
What he should just be worried about like getting his passing pinpoint. If he's got the scoring down, I'm not saying relax on your scoring, but he needs a guy who just like is just.
What I like about
He
Luka
needs
is
the
he
Lob
wants
City
the
guy.
ball. He wants it. He's not shy away from it. Like, but
He's just like Allen Iverson.
Oh yeah. Let's
Even
move on.
LeBron said Luka is going to be something special in the next few years. Even LeBron said that.
He already knows. And the Celtics already knew that because they played him in Barcelona. So who you have? Celtics or Sixers?
Celtics.
I don't think there should be a question on this.
Celtics. My boy Jason
the Sixers
Tatum.
they're a dumpster fire. I can't stand the Sixers. They need to sell their parts and start all over.
Sell the parts to eBay.
I think who's the center there? I always forget his name. Joel Embiid.
Cold chili dog.
They need to trade him. Their point guard. What's his name?
Ben Simmons.
Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons is a letdown to me. I mean, the guy is good. But if you're a point guard in this league, you need to shoot. Now, I'm not saying he has to be a consistent Steph Curry out there, but at least occasionally be a threat, kind of.
So they move up so you can drive. Yeah.
Yeah, and that way the defense doesn't sag down on Embiid and allows him to do what he needs to do. But they need to trade that team apart and just get some new players in there because they're just a mess.
Yeah. I think the Celtics just defensive, and they have 4 players that can get their own shot. That's a big thing.
I think the biggest thing with Philly is Ben Simmons is trying to like kind of set a new, like, what is the word? A new template for what a point guard is supposed to be, because he's like super, like, apparently he's like the best defensive point guard ever, is what a lot of I've been hearing ringing off in forums and looking at like NBA stuff.
I'm gonna have to put Gary Payton there.
I'm saying for this generation. I'm not speaking on like the past point guards. That's how they're trying to make it look. So if that's the narrative that's being pushed, he needs to be on the team like Detroit, or he's acting a lot like a player who needs to be a backup point guard.
No, if he's talking about a defensive point guard, he should actually go to Utah. That's a perfect.
If he doesn't go to Utah, he should either go to the Wizards or Memphis.
Nah, Houston, because
He ain't going to Memphis. You already have Ja Rule.
You go to Houston, you've got the shooters around you. You can drive.
Yeah.
You know what? Ortiz just broke the Da Vinci Code. You might be onto something.
Yeah.
That's the problem with the 76ers. They got rid of their shooters.
JJ.
And now you're stuck with Embiid and a bunch of other guys who are marginal shooters.
Like, bro, you're 7 foot. I understand you want to spread the floor, but you shouldn't be shooting 8 to 10 threes a game. You're a center. Now let's move on to the Lakers. And I hear that it doesn't matter if the Nets make this because they're saying there's some of a play-in incentive. KD and Kyrie are not playing. They basically shut down. It doesn't matter when they're coming back at the end of July. They're still not going to play. So saying that, I think it's going to be a sweep. I think the Clippers are winning.
And I think that's
you said
kind of
KD and who are not playing?
KD and Kyrie will not be playing in the postseason if there is, like they're saying, there's going to be a postseason. They said they're still going to.
That's irrelevant. No, we already know that. We already knew that. You know.
Well, no, KD is shooting.
Yeah, but I kind of think that's a mistake because right now they've got a. Well, they're going against the Lakers, but this is a good time to just work yourself out. I mean, you're going to get blown out either way, but just get get some workouts and push it on a playoff, especially if it doesn't really mean anything to you.
Yeah.
I mean, get some kind of burn, especially if you're feeling okay.
I get
Kyrie
Kyrie's reason, but Kyrie's, I don't know.
I mean, both of them kind of need to build chemistry before it's time to build chemistry.
Right.
And I think it'd be good for them to play right now.
But it would be good to see DeAndre Jordan versus Anthony Davis. I know Anthony Davis is gonna win that battle, but DeAndre.
I was just making sure you said that.
No, we already know DeAndre Jordan. He has no real offensive game except catching lobs, right? But
DeAndre Jordan. The thing about him is he plays good defense, but it's always around like the midway through the third quarter, he starts to get lackadaisical.
Gets tired.
When it comes to that last push through the fourth quarter,
yeah,
you notice he doesn't have that energy to push through that last 4 to 5 minutes to really make that fourth quarter count.
If he lost about 20 pounds, I think honestly he would be dangerous. But I think he kind of allowed himself to get too big for his body, and he's getting tired.
Yeah.
Just like Ben Wallace did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Utah and Houston.
Houston.
I got Utah on that.
Alert! I
almost spit out my juice.
They're a tough defensive team. They don't have even though Houston is small, I think they'll win. I think Utah will get a couple games. I think it goes 6, but in the end, I think Houston wins that series. Just talent alone with Harden and Russell Westbrook and Eric Gordon in there too.
I think you're underrating Utah.
I think you're missing one piece. Well,
because so Houston they have Westbrook and
James
Harden. They don't have a big man.
Yeah,
true.
They are incredibly lopsided.
Mm-hmm.
Utah has Mike Conley. They got Jordan Clarkson.
Oh yeah,
they got Spider. They got Bogdanovich.
Shooter.
No.
Utah's deep.
Malcolm Brogdon.
No. And don't forget the standout from last year, Joe Ingles.
The old
man with the bald head.
Ingles is a bad boy, dude.
Hey, he put some work on who was it? Ariza? I forgot who it was, but he put some work on him. They got a deep team.
Yeah.
And while Houston is flashy and high, they got probably the best players on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Utah has a deeper team, and in a series like this, plus a big man, I've got to lean to Utah.
I think Ortiz, you definitely convinced me. I think I'm gonna go Utah in 7. Actually,
I'm not going Utah.
I'm going Utah.
Y'all didn't ask me, but I'm not going Utah. You know why I'm not going Utah? Because I know Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert don't get along. And even if they say it's outside of the game, I know it affects the game because you could look at Kobe, you could look at Shaq.
Yeah, but
you can't even name them in the same breath as Kobe and Shaq.
Even Shaq said it. He says, he goes, teams don't need to get along in order to play well. He says, oftentimes the teams that had the most friction went the furthest.
Right.
That's you just put a knife in my back, man. I don't know if we can be friends no more, man. You just said a lot and you hurt my feelings, man. I don't know if I can agree with that. Nah, all bullshit aside though, I can understand why that makes sense in a situation like this. But in all honesty, I'm gonna pick the other team. I'm gonna pick Houston because the reason why I'm gonna pick Houston, even though they're missing a piece, I know if Westbrook really wants that dub, he'll stop when they have an understanding, like a wife and a husband have an understanding. Like, you cook, I clean, bet. I clean, you cook, bet. They can interchange their roles, and you can see that in their gameplay. If Russell Westbrook say, hey, I'm going to just be a true point guard the whole game and get my points when I get them, and James Harden says, okay, I'm going to facilitate the ball, let this man get his points, and I'm going to get my points, agreed, cool, lock it in, let's go. Right. Switch roles. The team chemistry is way better on Houston than it is in Utah. And that's the only reason why I'm riding with Houston.
Toronto and Memphis. Toronto and Memphis.
Toronto's got a bad man with Siakam.
Yeah,
I've got. Honestly, Siakam's going to be, because he's a free agent this year, I think.
I think he is.
That man. I don't think he's staying in Toronto.
He's turning down that Supermax?
I think so. I think he earned it too, because he's been balling. You put him on a team that is close. You put him on
Miami?
like a Miami or an Indiana, or you bring him out west and you put him on the Spurs.
Mm-hmm.
The Spurs are the Western Toronto.
Yeah.
I mean, that you're talking about creating some damage.
Yeah. I think Toronto wins this series more of their experience in the playoffs compared to a youth. But don't sleep on John Morant, though. That dude is filthy.
John Morant's not going to be in Houston much longer either. Not Houston. I mean, Memphis much longer either. He's not going to be there much longer either.
Well, he has a 4 years, basically. It's 2 years and then two-year team option. They're definitely going to keep him on there.
Okay, so
I think he's going to the Lakers after this, after his contract.
We can save this whole conversation for the last segment. But I'm going with Toronto because Toronto has always had promising players. And every team has a stigma. Like, Memphis is known for defense. The Lakers is known for championships. The Bobcats is known for always losing. Boston is known for having, one and dones. Like, every team they've had is every team is known for something.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, I got a text message. I feel like with Toronto, the players that they have, they always, once they leave that team, they go off and do better.
Yeah.
So what Pascal Siakam, I feel like if he's going to go to any team, he needs to go to a team where he can be the star player. And I feel like there's very few teams that he can do that on.
Right.
Like maybe Indiana will be a perfect place for him if he wants to do strictly his own thing. But if he wants to win, Pascal Siakam will be great in Boston. Low-key, Pascal Siakam will be the missing piece in Boston.
Well, Gordon Hayward is a free agent, so.
There you go.
They won't be missing Gordon Hayward that much.
No. Now, this is one of the more intriguing matchups, I think, is Denver and the Pacers. Like, this is definitely going to be intriguing. What do you think, Devon?
I like Denver. In fact, I honestly thought Denver was going to be higher in the rankings because, I mean, I think they've got a solid team. Just, to me, they're like what Utah was back in the 90s. Just a formidable team. No real like standout superstar type players, but really just strong. Like you don't want to go. No one likes playing in Denver because of the elevation,
the altitude.
And then you've got a team that just plays well. I mean, I think Denver's going to be tough for Indiana.
What do you think, D?
I want to pick Denver, but no, I'm gonna go with Denver.
I think Denver too.
Michael Porter Jr.
I'm about to say you're about to pick them just because I picked Utah.
Nah. I don't want to be the bad guy in this situation. No, I'm definitely picking Denver. Just strictly based off of Denver's known for like really delicate offense and defense. Like their offense is just like they kind of glide through. I won, glide through. I lost. Like it's never really like super dominant. And I feel like just watching Denver's progression. Granted, I don't watch the team very often because I stopped watching them when Carmelo left or whatever. But Michael Porter Jr. came, and then they got a little bit, a few more pieces. And just watching them develop over time, their defense and offense has become more aggressive. And I feel like if I pick Denver, I got a hungrier team. I got a team that wants to really eat and try to fight for that championship. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Now let's fast forward. Who do you think is going to meet? Since obviously we picked different teams in that first round, who do you think's going to meet in the finals then? If these same teams go and same format.
Are you saying conference finals or finals in general?
Finals. Okay. I think it's LA versus LA.
I'm going to say Milwaukee and Lakers. And the only reason why I say that is because of I think Giannis has something to prove against Kawhi.
I think they're going to do a boxing one on that. And just trap him.
Yeah, but he's not the same player he was last year. Giannis can shoot now. I mean, yeah, he's not Steph Curry or he's not even. I mean, but he can still pull away and shoot jumpers now. And Giannis has had 2 months to settle in this where no one's talking about Milwaukee anymore. Everyone's talking about LA and LA. And Giannis has a little Kobe in him where he wants to dog you. And I think right now he's at a good point where he can prove his point. I am the man right now. And he can go through Kawhi. And I honestly, I think he's going to.
What do you think, D?
I'm picking Giannis because when I look at Giannis, I just see a whole lot of Michael Jordan. Like I see a lot of Michael Jordan, I see a lot of LeBron, I see a lot of Kobe, but I also look at when I say I see a lot of LeBron, like I see LeBron on the Cleveland Cavaliers that last year he played the Celtics in the semifinals?
Yeah,
or like the conference finals.
Conference finals, I think.
The conference final, that game when he played them and KG quote unquote said he broke them. When I see that game, I see that, and I see LeBron is now the Boston Celtics and Giannis is the Cavaliers. Right. So when I see that matchup, I see the underdog trying to take the helm.
Are you saying it's passing the torch type of thing?
100%. 100%. Who else is when you look at the NBA? Who else is LeBron going to pass the torch to?
Here's my thing. I don't think that because we know how sports sometimes wants to make sure certain teams get in, and that's 100%. Why I think Milwaukee's not one of those teams that the NBA wants in the finals.
That's not the but
you get what I'm saying. Like
championship.
They keep saying this is why they're going. They want to. This is another reason why I think it could be a conspiracy and all that. They want LA versus LA. They don't want it as a conference final. I understand that.
I understand that 100%. But okay, if that's the case, then we can talk about one of the rest in peace. With all due respect, that ring he won against Sacramento when he left the Western Conference Finals, he beat the Sacramento Kings and went and played the Nets and swept them. We can talk about that ring. We can talk about that ring. Because Kobe shot 18 free throws.
Okay, well, if the NBA was trying to make sure that they went up against each other, then what they would have done was they probably should have put Milwaukee and the Lakers in the same bracket. because
He's on.
the
Go
Lakers
by
have
record.
more of a chance. Because I know it's by record, but if that's what they were trying to do, because AD and Giannis have a better chance of going head to head and canceling each other out, and making sure that because the Lakers will still have LeBron taking over, that would almost ensure that the Lakers will go through. But with the Clippers, they don't have that mobile big man. Harrell's not going to be able to do it on this case. He's not fast enough.
Giannis's rebounds are going to be the reason why he wins if it's going to be the Lakers versus the Clippers.
He would have to
fast break points. That's what's going to.
I played this man on 2K. I played him in the finals. I literally had to turn the quarters up to 12 minutes, spend so much time in team practice in order to beat him. If anything I did on the game is translated into real life, I'm not going to win. So with that being said, just seeing the gameplay that's going to take place in the finals, just like in my head, I already know. Like,
I think
it's automatic.
Let's break down
that situation is the Bucks.
Let's break down the Bucks and Clippers. All right, we all know that Giannis is the best player on that court, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now let's talk about role players. Who has?
I wouldn't just outright call him the best player on the court if we're going Bucks and Clippers, because Kawhi is still a bad dude.
100%.
Let me rephrase it. A more dominant player is Giannis.
No, it's Kawhi.
I don't know. I mean, Giannis is what?
It's debatable because
in 2 blocks a game.
It's debatable, honestly, because Kawhi is a different kind of dominant. Kawhi is he can score, but he's not a scorer.
Right.
He's a defending player that scores because of his defense. Now, recently, because he's had to be the main guy, he's tried to become more of a like LeBron type, where he's dribbling the ball at the top and driving in, but he usually fails at that because he doesn't have the offensive repertoire like LeBron. He's not as good of a dribbler. He doesn't have while he's incredibly athletic, he doesn't have the same move set like a LeBron or a Kobe or a Jordan, and he usually ends up leaning on his strength. But what happens is, because of the way his body is, he's weak. Not weak, but he's injured somewhere. Yeah. We won't necessarily say how, but he is injured somewhere. That's why he's taken so much time to have his, what are they called?
Load management.
Load management days. That he's somewhere he's injured, and he's trying to keep that under wraps. Well, that's not going to happen in the playoffs. And so he's going to lean so much on his strength that it's going to wear on him somewhere. And that's why I would lean more towards Giannis, because Giannis is younger. He's stronger physically. And where Kawhi doesn't necessarily have as much to prove, Giannis does.
Yeah, like what I think is star power, if we're talking about all-star power, right? You have Giannis for the Bucks, right, obviously. And then Kawhi for the Clippers, and Paul George is right there on the cusp of getting back to – was he an all-star this year? I don't think so.
Kawhi? Yeah, I think so. No, he was because he won the Kobe Award.
No, Paul George. I don't think he was an all-star. No, because he was hurt early on. So, really, like, the Clippers have 2 all-stars. That's who they signed, right? So, I like when fully healthy.
But don't forget Sweet Lou and Harrell, because those guys are that's their special sauce.
Yeah, and that's why I was getting who has a better role players. I would have to go Clippers.
Oh, 100%. They have the deepest bench in the NBA.
Now, what about coaching? They both are really good coaches. Who would you take? Clippers coach or the Bucks coach?
Obviously, Clippers. Doc is one of the best coaches, NBA history. I mean,
Yes.
he's a
With Jerry
a
West
legend.
there. Let's talk about that. Like front office, I would say Clippers, especially with Jerry West there. So like you look at all that. I mean, like that's why I look at those phases, and that's why I just can't take the Bucks, especially when Kawhi eliminated Giannis, and he knows what it takes to eliminate him.
Well, so the
As a
Clippers
group.
have
As a group.
The Clippers have a deep Clippers have a deep team. They're probably about 8 people deep. But people forget that the Milwaukee's got a pretty deep team too.
Let me ask you on Milwaukee. On Milwaukee.
They got Kyle Korver, Robin Lopez. They got
Kyle Korver's in Milwaukee?
Yeah.
They got Thanos Antetokounmpo. You've got his brother, who is kind of coming into his own by himself. You've got Brook Lopez. So, I mean, you're looking at – and then Ilyasova. Don't forget Ilyasova, who can be a bad man at times. Wesley Matthews as a vet who has some playoffs experience.
Yeah.
This is – Milwaukee's a pretty deep team too. And I think I think George Hill, isn't George Hill on on Milwaukee too?
I think Eric Bledsoe too.
Is he really? Chris Middleton, almost forgot.
Don't get me
too.
started on Chris Middleton. Dude's supposed to be an all-star, averages 7 points in the playoffs. Like
the only thing Giannis is missing is another superstar. There's Giannis is amazing on offense.
Well, why does he need
defense.
another one?
No, just listen. Just listen.
He has 2 all-stars.
Giannis is an amazing defender. He's an amazing finisher. He's an amazing driver. He's an amazing rebounder. The only thing he's missing is a fucking shooter, bro. If Giannis had a shooter,
he has a shooter. Kyle Korver.
Wesley Matthews.
How long has time out. How long has Kyle Korver been in the NBA?
Don't matter. Once you have a jump shot, it never goes away.
You sure?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but Kyle Korver's a defensive liability.
Yeah, that's the issue. He's only a shooter. He's not defensive. Like you were talking about.
He's not.
You were just talking about shooting both
But it's not football, though. The problem is when he's on the court, he's got to defend
Y'all
someone.
didn't let me finish. All-star shooter.
Chris Middleton.
Where's Chris Middleton at right now?
He needs to go home. That's where he needs to go.
My point exactly.
Technically, he's an all-star. Technically, he's an all-star.
When you say technically, that means no.
Because that's my take on him.
Exactly. That's your opinion. That's your opinion. We came on Saturday morning traffic to talk facts, my good brother. And like I said, Giannis needs an all-star shooter. Yeah. I'm referring into the lengths of what is
Booker?
it? Stephen Curry,
he ain't leaving.
Klay Thompson. The list goes on.
Bro, let's be realistic. This is not 2K, okay? Let's be realistic.
I'm not saying it's too. I'm not saying it's 2K.
Teaming him up with him though. I could see Devin Booker teaming up with him. That would be nasty.
That would be nasty, or somebody like Michael Porter Jr. or somebody who can be developed into a shooter.
2 injuries.
Somebody who can be developed into a shooter. That's all I'm saying.
Right. Yeah. At the end of the day, do we all agree that you think the Lakers are winning the chip?
Yep.
I think so. I think especially you do 2 months where you get LeBron to rest it up, and he's working on his body.
100%. I follow him on IG
because he wants this chip bad.
It's not one he needs it for his legacy. Is another thing.
Well, yeah, he needs it for his legacy, but he wants it bad because he knows the window is closing for him.
And it's LA.
And it's the Western Conference. The Western Conference gets harder every year. Mm-hmm. And so he knows I need to take the time now. And I honestly think he's going to be ready. Anthony Davis, this is great for him because he had some injuries kind of plaguing him. Now he's going to be a little healthier. what LA is really missing is a point guard, someone to distribute the ball, so that way LeBron doesn't have to be that guy.
I think
And a deep bench. I think LeBron's okay with distributing the ball as long as he has a deep bench. He has somebody to replace him. And Rondo was that guy to replace him because everybody knows Rondo in the playoff mode is unheard of. There's not too many players that could really like challenge Rondo when it comes to playoff mode because you look how he was in Boston. There's literally a whole video about what he done during playoffs.
Yeah, but that was.
I think what.
That's been years, man.
Well, Rondo's kind of like a D-fish. Like you can't expect him to score a whole lot, but what he's gonna do is he's gonna manage the team. He's gonna manage the gameplay, and then he knows, okay, I need to exert myself, and so he will give himself. And then after that, he's doing one of these. I need to go out because he doesn't have it like he used to, but he's still smart enough to be able to say, okay, now I need to kick it into gear.
So you're basically what you're saying is Rondo's selfless to a certain extent.
Oh yeah, Rondo's all about winning. Rondo didn't to think that he was the man, and then he allowed guys like KG and
Harrison, Ray Allen,
Ray Allen, and them guys to come in when he was the man, and he wasn't even at that point. He wasn't considered the man anymore, and yet he still propelled them. He was still their point guard to allow them to win.
Yeah, I can see that. I feel like that with what you just said, I feel like if it was to be the Clippers versus the Lakers in the finals, I feel like Rondo would take it upon himself to be that playoff Rondo times 10 times 10. Like he would make it his effort to push it towards 100%.
Yeah.
And not only that, but then even if let's just say Rondo doesn't have the gas. You've got the young guard from that they got from Golden State. What's his name now? I can't believe I'm forgetting his name.
Robert Covington or Cunningham is one of the two.
No.
Who the Warriors? Who the Lakers got?
Yeah.
Yeah, he went to Duke.
Kyle Kuzma?
He went to Duke.
Quinn Cook.
Yeah, Quinn Cook.
He's nice.
So Quinn Cook has championship. He's got playoff experience. He that's going to be important come deep in the playoffs when maybe Rondo gets tired and they need someone off the bench to kind of manage the game. That's going to be important. And then don't forget, we picked up Markieff Morris. He didn't get to play much before the season ended, but we got him, and he can ball out too.
Yeah, the Morris twins, both in LA. But we're gonna wrap this up, guys. All right, now let's also to finally wrap up this episode here with Mr. Ortiz. What is Devon? What is one or multiple trade, whatever you think is for the team? What is one of the trades that you want to happen, or free agent signings that you think should happen or could happen?
I think
to happen.
I think for Miami, I think Miami needs another scorer, and I think Devin Booker to Miami would be incredible.
I knew I liked Dr. Ortiz for the right reasons. Well, I wasn't even thinking of that.
I forgot.
Imagine Devin Booker. Imagine now he's got a team. Back him up. He doesn't have to be he doesn't have to be the voice.
Oh my God!
He's a Jimmy Butler. That team would be deadly.
You just put the coronavirus in the NBA. You just put the coronavirus in the NBA.
I'd be afraid to play Miami. As a Laker fan, I'd be afraid of the Lakers playing Miami. Because Miami would have a little bit of everything at that point.
I think Chris Paul to the Lakers. I think that's going to happen. It needs to happen.
I'm over that. I'm over that.
I think it will happen, man. I think it will.
We need to get younger. We need to get younger and athletic. Because the Lakers have LeBron, they've got AD. Both of these guys are kind of, I mean, yeah, they're mobile, but we need around them some athletes that can move around and stuff. I like CP3, and I think this year CP3 has kind of showed himself that he's got some new life.
Yeah.
But I think for this team, we already got veterans. We've got age. We need some youth that has some dog in them.
What about the Mavs? Who do you think they need? Since they already have two really good players, who do you, like you were saying, they're about 1-2 people away. Because recently came out, like I showed D, is Mark Cuban came out and said he's aggressively going to be going after Bradley Beal or CJ McCollum. What are your thoughts on that?
Me?
Either of you. Go ahead.
Okay, cool. I think personally, I feel like that's a cloak. That's a cloak. That ain't shit but a cloak. Like you saying one thing, but I know in reality you doing others. You pursuing the super.
Well, no, here's the thing. Luka, this is his second year. He has a 4-year deal, so you have a 2-year window where the only max player you're paying is KP. So they could sign another max player, technically.
And Luka could also leave, though.
It's not about that. It's about winning now to keep him.
But that's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about the reality. Luka could also leave.
That's another reason to sign a max player.
That doesn't, just because you sign a max player doesn't mean, I'm just saying the reality of the situation is Luka might leave.
To be honest, I don't think he will.
And Luka could go anywhere.
I don't think Luka
could go anywhere.
I don't think he looks up to Dirk so much.
I personally don't think he will either. Just what you just said. He's going to look up to Dirk and, so on and so forth.
21
but
years.
I know when you're young, you make impulsive decisions. So Luka could end up anywhere. We might see Luka on the Heat. We might see Luka in Utah.
He's not going to the Heat. I'll tell you that right now.
We might see Luka re-signing with the Dallas Mavericks. We might see Luka in fucking LA. We don't know where any of these players are going. That's why it's so fantastic.
I guarantee as long as Jimmy Butler's there, Luka's not going to be on that team.
He doesn't want to be on a team where he can't dominate. And that's the reason why Luka's game is not elevated to the point that it's elevated.
Well, I kind of think if the Mavs, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. My bad.
No, you're good. You're good.
What if Mike Conley went to Dallas?
On a 1 year.
Mike Conley, you know what to expect from him. The dude can score. He's probably one of the most underrated players in the league. And I feel bad for him because he played so many years in Memphis, and dude can outright ball. He had to be behind Rudy Gay and all that stuff, and he basically led that team. Imagine he went to Dallas and was able to be a guard so Luka can slide down to the shooting guard and distribute the ball so Luka can give himself the scoring. And then and not only that, but Mike Conley's a dog himself.
Yeah. I have a different name for you. What about Drew Holiday?
He needs to go to –
Because he's a defensive player but could also put up 40. And
Drew Holiday needs to replace Bradley. No, I don't want Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday needs to go to the
if he went to
he
the
plays for New Orleans, right?
Yeah. He's the point guard for the New Orleans Pelicans.
Drew Holiday will be because Ortiz said he needs to go to LA. Drew Holiday would be the perfect point guard for LA.
Yeah,
Picture
I could see that.
perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect picture frame point guard for LA.
I think
Either there. No. If you swap, hold on. If you swap Damian Lillard for Drew Holiday, put Damian Lillard on New Orleans Pelicans, and you put Drew Holiday in Portland, I guarantee you Portland would be in the finals.
No.
For the Western Conference.
Mm.
They're getting Nikola Jokic back. They're getting CJ McCollum back, and they're just missing one piece. You switch out them, bro, because you have to understand, Damian Lillard is just another copy of Russell Westbrook.
Say that again?
Damian Lillard is another copy of Russell Westbrook.
No.
You
I could see it, but he doesn't have the same motor that Westbrook does.
Not the same motor, and he can't.
And that,
Westbrook can't shoot as well. Like let's.
well, yeah, but I'm saying
Same mindset though.
on
Same mindset,
layman's terms.
That's over.
Layman's terms. Don't sauce it up and get all confusing. Like just layman's terms.
You know how I like saucing it up though.
Come on, man. I see what you do to your chicken nuggets. But yeah. But yeah, layman's terms. Just the basics. If you look at the basics of his game.
All right.
Okay, I got a trade for you.
Okay.
The Lakers trading Kyle Kuzma. They trade JaVale McGee and Anthony Alex Caruso.
The Caruso Show?
Yeah, I don't want to see him.
Tony's
go,
twin brother.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to see him go. But what if they package that deal for a sign and trade with Bradley Beal? Now you have so much offense, so much athleticism. I mean, your team now goes. You're looking at.
Is he 6'4"? Right? He's 6'4" or 6'5".
6'4".
Yeah.
Probably he's more than likely 6'4". But you're looking at if you have a starting five, you've got point guard. You can put let's put Quinn Cook.
Okay. I think he's more of a two guard though, isn't he? Like he plays off-ball.
He played point guard for Golden State. He plays point guard right now. Okay. But you have, let's say, Quinn Cook, Bradley Beal, LeBron James. You've got Anthony Davis and Dwight Howard.
Oh,
and a lot of people are sleeping on Dwight Howard for the simple fact that
double.
He was with the Lakers. He left because Kobe was there. R.I.P. Kobe. Like he just doesn't. He's getting a lot of flack, and like since all this has been going on, like with the NBA, like when he was playing, Dwight Howard was doing his thing, bro. And I feel like Dwight Howard is like the Ron Artest of the LA Lakers right now.
Did he win
like you don't ask much of him, but he does what he's supposed to do.
Did he win Defensive Player of the Year like 3 years in a row or something crazy?
Oh yeah. Well, Dwight Howard right now he's kind of filling in like a Rodman. He's doing the dirty stuff, and he's kind of he's keeping quiet. He knows that he's not the player he was before, but he could still be dangerous. And you put that starting five, and then coming off the bench, you have Avery Bradley. You've got Markieff Morris. You've got the other Antetokounmpo. And then you put in some fillers here and there. You've got a killer squad.
What about this trade? Because the Nets are very trying to get Bradley Beal as well. Now you trade
who? The Nets?
Yeah, the Nets are trying to get Bradley Beal. Like their names are in there. Somehow they pull off a trade, whoever they're going to trade, right? Most likely Dinwiddie. I don't know if they trade LeVert, but they might. They might trade LeVert too. Package those two to get Bradley Beal. But what are your thoughts if it was Kyrie, Bradley, and KD with DeAndre? And then I forgot who plays the 4.
See, my only problem with the Nets. You go D. My bad.
Because it's the thing they're talking about, you know.
My personal belief is I feel like with that trade, it sounds good on paper, but knowing how KD and Kyrie are, I feel like slowly the team would deteriorate as far as like team morale. Like we all know we have a mission to go out there and get the job done, but what was the issue in OKC when he left? He felt like he was doing everything. And I feel like with so many ball-dominant characters, like Kyrie's ball-dominant, Bradley Beal's ball-dominant because he felt like he had to do most of the work with the Wizards. And then you got the other two guys who I don't know who the fuck they are. They're just kind of like sitting on the sideline. So with too many superstars on one team is a bad look. And we seen that happen in LA when it was Steve Nash, Kobe Bryant, Dwight Howard, was it Ron Artest, and then like another dude. Like it's too much. It's
Can't
too much.
sleep on Dinwiddie or LeVert. They ballers.
They
I like
are
LeVert more than Dinwiddie because Dinwiddie had to do a little more to get into the actual league. But LeVert, I mean, coming off the bench, dropped 50. He's acting like Lou Williams out there.
Yeah, but once again, you got to remember in this modern NBA,
Yeah,
there's a lot of good scorers.
no,
And just because you're a good scorer doesn't mean you're a good player.
No, you can
you
get
know,
up shots.
Yeah, I mean, and you just get a defensive lax team that goes out there and all of a sudden you're a good scorer and you start hitting a couple.
Houston,
you can go crazy. And that's why, they're good players. But to me, I mean, if I was Washington, I wouldn't do that.
yeah,
Because Bill's a legit, he's a legit player.
yeah.
Vert and LeVert and Dinwiddie, they're still coming to their own. If I was the Nets, I'd be looking at seeing if I can get DeRozan. I'd be looking at DeRozan.
Get that another slasher.
Yeah. So that
He's
way,
a free agent this year.
Yeah. So if that way, if something happens with KD or if something happens with Kyrie, you still have another guy who can get you buckets.
Yeah, mid-range.
Yeah, and I'd be looking at someone like that if I was the Brooklyn Nets. But unfortunately, I'm not a big Kyrie fan. I loved his game when he played with LeBron. I don't love his game outside of that.
Yeah. He's good too when he's second option, which pretty much he's going to be second option.
He will be, but once again, he's second option to KD, who is the most tender-headed NBA player. I mean, this guy does not take criticism well. And you get one of these games where maybe Kyrie thinks that KD needs to step up or whatever, and they start talking to each other sideways, that might rub things the wrong way and create a problem.
Yeah. Everywhere he's gone, he's kind of headbutt with other star players, and it's kind of think that'll be the same case eventually with Kyrie. But let's wrap it up. Any final thoughts, D?
Kyrie's a cancer. LA Lakers are gonna win the championship. Brush your teeth, wash your face. If you're black, make sure you keep your ID in the cup holder. Shout out to Dr. Ortiz, our special guest.
Thank
you know
you
what I'm
for coming
saying?
on.
He's going to make another appearance. Shout out to Tony. He's cool. You know what I'm saying? That's my man. And this is Saturday Morning Traffic. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Treat your family how you want to be treated and do unto others as they do to you. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you eat healthy, you drink a lot of water, and you wash your hands for 20 seconds.
Be safe out there.
I'm Tony. I'm Tony. I'm D. This is my man, Tony. And this is Dr. Ortiz, our special guest.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you all. Take care.